Hello dear student of class 9, welcomes to DAV Moyle Public Schools online e-learning session. I am your social science teacher Manish Sabre. Dear student, today we are going to learn about what makes election in India democratic. Dear student, this is Election Independent Election Commission of India. Dear student, this election commission of India formed in 25th of January 1950. Here, one simple way checking whether elections are fair or not is to look at who conducts the election. Are they independent of the government? Or can the government or the ruling party influence or pressurize them? Do they have enough powers to be able to conduct free and fair elections? Do they actually use these powers? Dear student, the answer to all these questions is quite positive of our country. In our country, elections are conducted by one institution and it is an independent and very powerful election commission. Okay, it is EC, Election Commission. It enjoys the same kind of independence that the judiciary enjoys. The Chief Election Commissioner CEC is appointed by the President of India. Dear student, if once appointed, the the Chief Election Commissioner is not answerable to the President or the government. Even if the ruling party or the government does not like what the commission does, it is virtually impossible for it to remove the Chief Election Commissioner. Very few election commissions in the world have such a wide-ranging powers as the Election Commission of India. So it is all about Election Commission of India. Dear student, here are some powers of Election Commission of India. First, the Election Commission conduct elections in India, conduct and control elections in our country. It punishes any candidate or party that violates model code of conduct. It implemented code of conduct during the election period in our country. And last is, when on election duty, the government officer works under the control of election commissions and not the government. Order the government to follow some guidelines and prevent the misuse of power in election period. So these are the main functions of the election commissions of India. You may remember that. Now, the popular participation. What is the popular participation? In India, the turnout has either remained stable or actually gone up as compared to Europe and North America. In India, the poor, illiterate, and underprivileged people vote in larger proportion as compared to the rich and privileged sections. Common people in India attach a lot of importance to election. The people's participation measured by the voters' turnout. In India, poor voters vote more than rich. Common man attaches importance to election. And interest of the voters in election related to activities increase. So this is the popular participations of the people in our country in election. And it makes the election in India democratic. Because every category of people have rights to elect their representatives, to participations in elections. Okay, now next is here The acceptance of election outcome. Dear student, the ruling party lose elections at a central and state level in India. So here the ruling parties have equal chance of losing elections in India, both at the national and state level we know. In the US, an incumbent or sitting elected representative rarely loses an election. But it's not happen in India. We know that is not happen in India. Candidates who are known to have spent a lot of money on buying votes and those with known criminal connections often lose elections in our country. The electoral outcomes are usually accepted as by defeated party. The people using money and muscle power often lose elections in our country. And election result accepted as people verdict. So that is why the acceptance of elections outcome. So that makes elections in India democratic. Understand? Now the challenges to free and fair election. What are the challenges to free and fair elections? Money and muscle power. Use of money and muscle power. Dear student, the candidate and parties with a lot of money do enjoy a big and unfair advantage over smaller parties and independents. They use their money and muscle powers to win elections sometimes. That is a major challenge to free and fair election. Then criminalization of politics. The candidates with criminal connections have been able to win the electoral race and secure a ticket from major parties. That is a challenge to free and fair election. Then dynastic politics. Dynastic politics mean here family dominance in the political parties. This is the dynastic politics. Some families tend to dominate the political parties in our country, and this is the major challenges to free and fair election. Absence of little choice. What is the absence of the little choice? Very often, elections offer little choice to ordinary citizens, as the major parties have same policies and ideologies. And small parties suffer, means disadvantage to smaller parties. What is the disadvantage to the smaller parties? Smaller parties and independent candidates cannot compete with the larger parties. So these are 4 challenges or 5 challenges to free and fair elections. Dear student, I hope these points makes the elections in India democratic. Independent Election Commission, popular participation, acceptance of election outcome, and challenges to free and fair election makes elections in India democratic. Here, the assignment on today's topic. Dear student, I hope you understand today's topic. Here, thank you for watching today's online video. Thank you today for making us a part of your day. We will meet in next period with new topic. Thank you for today.